we're live. Yay!
All right, so
Thank you.
let's
All right.
see if
Hey,
we
everyone.
have
This is
any
John and
people
Finn.
tuning in. Hey!
Welcome to our live. Hey, actually, we're doing something cool today. We actually moved everything way out into the woods. So hopefully you all are seeing us and we're just not talking to nobody. So we moved everything out into the woods. You can see the tiny firehouse right behind us.
Ta-da!
And we are in a section here. We're coming at you live from our...
Oh, should we mention you hear the humming noise on the background? That's our generator.
Yes, if you hear that humming noise, let me see. Is anybody able to make a comment? Can they tell me if the humming noise from the generator is bothersome? Anybody able to say?
Anybody can type comments and let us know if they can see us, they can hear us okay.
Oh, yeah. You all can type comments and you can let us know if you can hear and see us okay. How's that sound?
Well, nobody loves us so far. Nobody loves us so far. Nobody can see us.
Either that or nobody can hear us. Maybe that's what's going on. No, maybe nobody can see or hear us. Oh, wait, Allison. Hello, can't hear generator. Yay! All right.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. All right, so very good. So we are live here at our 16-acre beloved cabin, tiny house homestead and stay.
So why do you have to keep saying 16 acres?
Because it's just what I say. You know, we should get a little ball. Everybody say it together now. 16-acre beloved cabin, tiny house homestead and stay. Let's all go to the lobby.
All right, so let's tell people what's on agenda today so they know what to be expected.
Oh, Tony Cass can hear you. Kevin Rodriguez, hear you fine. Hey, Allison Pfeiffer.
Oh, Tony said can't hear.
Tony.
Oh, can't hear generator.
Can't hear generator.
Thank
all right.
you.
Allison Pfeiffer, isn't she registered for one of the upcoming workshops?
Surely, workshop.
Yeah,
which is in the next 2 weeks.
That's in
on the 28th and 29th. No, 28th through 30th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway.
So what on agenda today?
All right. So what we're going to do today is we are here. We're going to be touring the tiny firehouse right behind us.
Yes.
We're going to be touring our yurt. We have a 14-foot yurt out here.
Beyond that way?
It's way out in what we call the...
That way? No, which way?
That way.
Okay, that way. Fine.
We're in a section out here on the property called the Secret Garden.
Oh my God, mysterious.
So secret. Mysterious. It's actually detached from the rest of the property, meaning we cut a road through the woods. There's a gate separating this area from the more public main area of the property. Gate. And don't bring up my uneven gate. I worked hard. I worked 3 days on that uneven gate.
I know.
Don't rub it in. So back here in the Secret Garden, we have of our Airbnb rentals. We have the Tiny Firehouse, which is going online through our Airbnb platform real soon here. We have a second tiny house, Rocco, the Moroccan-themed tiny house. We have a school bus that we're converting. We have our 14-foot yurt, which is available. And we're building the big tree house, and that's really exciting. That's pretty cool. We had the concrete poured for the tree house for the foundation. And the grain silo, we're putting a grain silo up in the air in this tree house. It is laying on its side on a trailer about 40 miles from here, and hopefully it's being delivered this weekend. So we're all excited on that. So pretty cool. Splendor Oaks, hey, the Kegels. Hey guys. That is really cool. Thank you. We really appreciate the Kegels popping in.
Well, thank you.
The Kegels are our go-to people. People come to us and ask us questions and things about what we're doing out here. We go to the Kegels at Splendor Oaks and we ask them questions about what they're doing there.
Because they're doing the similar things, but probably better than what we do. And they started before us anyway. And they're based in Cannon, Georgia. So, they have people can go there. They have schoolie spots. I think they have Bell 10, they have Tree House. And then they have schoolie on Airbnb as well. So it's really cool. So people should go and check them out.
Tony Cast, where are you? Tony, we are in Middle Georgia. We are located in an area called Lake Oconee, Georgia. We are about an hour and a half southeast of Atlanta. We're about an hour northeast of Macon. We're if you take I-20 out of Atlanta and you get off at exit 114, the Madison exit, and then you just head south and you pop into us. So we're in Lake Oconee, Florida, or Lake Oconee, Georgia. So
don't confuse people.
I'm confused already. So, but anyhow.
And I just want to say, don't mind me if you see me doing some weird gesture. Try last minute uploading the tour video. Because as usual, we are very unorganized people, even though we organize Tiny Help Festival, but that doesn't mean we always organize. So we'll just bear with me, just listen to John while I'm trying to sort this out.
Oh, okay. All right, just listen to me. Hey, you want me to give them a live tour of the beloved cabin? I mean, of the Tiny Firehouse.
Right now, if you want to,
Yeah.
You can try. Let's see how it goes. You know what? Hold on. Did you already give them what to be expected today? Like what we're going to talk about?
I'm kind of terrified to tell them what we have planned in case we can't pull this off.
Well, tell them, and then we can't do it because just to mention, we are actually in the woods and the Wi-Fi is not the best. But thankfully, we have our neighbors over there, Cindy and Mark, that very kindly let us borrow their Wi-Fi because our Wi-Fi is crappy.
Our Wi-Fi is not reaching out here. Yes. So anyway. Where were we?
We are going to tour the Tiny Firehouse behind us, that's for sure.
All right.
And then the yawn over there. And then, do you think just how I'm thinking?
Man, you're confusing the heck out of me.
And then we're going to talk about our new.
We got some exciting news. Ooh, a new
Airbnb.
Yes. Oh, we're so excited. We have a new, we have gone into partnership, or we are partnering with, I think that's the proper term, right? We are partnering with.
We team up with Airbnb.
With Airbnb. We got a real exciting thing to share
and
about
I'm sure everybody knows what is Airbnb. So I don't think we need to go into detail on that. But
I bet they don't know all the cool things about Airbnb.
Oh, we will talk about that later.
We've been hosting our tiny houses through Airbnb for a long time, and we've learned a lot in the past month about Airbnb. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to take them to the first tour?
So I am going to pick up the laptop and I am going to take you on a tour to the live.
Please don't trip over.
All righty. Well, let's wait. I don't want to bore everybody. A show of hands out there. Who wants me to do the tour of the firehouse?
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I just need to go inside Firehouse and make sure all the undies been put away.
Oh my. Okay, so oh man, typical John and Finn, dog and pony, man. Just don't even have our act together. Golly. Oh, and Diet Coke is not our sponsor today. I'm just doing this. And for everybody out there who wants to lecture me about aspartame, believe me, I got so many other things killing me. Aspartame is like the last thing on my agenda to worry about. So but anyhow, so so we've got this coming up out on the property out here. Hey, look behind me. You can see the little Thai Bigfoot in its natural habitat walking around behind me, right there. September 19th, August 28th through 30th, we have the Schoolie Build workshop that we're doing out here. We got a lot of people already registered. We got some openings left. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of food, camping out here on the property with tents and tiny houses available for rental for folks who want to do that. But we got tents. There's hotels nearby that folks want to, don't want to do either of those options. But it's a big, full, fun weekend of doing a Schoolie Build workshop with Scott Boyd from Schoolie School. We're really, really super excited that we got Scott to participate in this. He's going to be the instructor. And so, it's not, in an iron teaching how to do a Schoolie Build. You're getting it from somebody who knows, what they're doing. We're more the students and hosts that weekend. Scott is the instructor and teacher. So pretty exciting stuff on that. And then next month, September 19th and 20th, is our off-grid workshop retreat that we're having out here. Some people know it as Come Swing With Us, which get your minds out of the gutter. It's we're having hammocks, and we're all sleeping out in the trees, in hammocks between the trees. But it's a weekend of off-grid applications. We're going to be talking about solar. We're going to break down our solar system. You know, everybody knows Beloved Cabin is off-grid. We're going to be breaking down our solar system and then putting it all back together, just for the purpose of the weekend workshops. We're going to be adding another barrel to our smaller rainwater collection system. We're going to take it from 165 gallons to 210 gallons. So we're going to be adding another 55-gallon drum in there. Okay, quick. I was educated in Florida, so I might have my math wrong. 165 plus 55. Yeah, 210. 220. But anyhow, we're going to be adding more rainwater collection out there. We're also going to be going over the home biogas system. We do biogas out here. We're converting animal waste and kitchen scraps and garden waste. We turn that into methane gas, and then we use that methane gas for cooking. And we do that not from some DIY sketchy little let's blow ourselves up contraption. We actually use a home biogas methane generation system.
Done. So you want to show them maybe around the Septic garden and see what we have right now, just they can see roots and things like that. But
I would be terrified to take this too far. Yeah. The laptop.
Well, walk that way, and then walk back.
Walk that way.
Wonderful.
All right. And then we got we're going to go over some really cool, exciting news here with us partnering with Airbnb. We got some really cool things to share with folks. I'm going to put a little carrot out there for you. If you ever watch some of our live broadcasts, have you all ever seen the person who always asks me the question, how can I make money living in a tiny house or with a tiny house or in the 2020 economy? And I'm always giving people little ideas of side hustles and ways to make some money and things of that nature. We've got a lock solid opportunity here that has worked really great for Finn and I over time. And we're really excited to share this information and news with folks and how we personally want to help and are going to share and help folks on becoming very successful in this new endeavor, if you will, just because that's the kind of folks we are. Y'all know us. We always love to help people out. So follow me. Let's take a walk.
All right. So hold on. So you're going to walk like that, or we're going to flip the camera so you know what you're doing? You're going to walk just like that? Okay, fine.
All right. So you want to look on the phone and make sure we're not breaking up? Tell me how I'm doing. All right. So here is our, this is the Tiny Firehouse. For y'all haven't seen it, this is the Tiny Firehouse. Babe, what is that contraption right on the front there? Go stand there. Touch that.
Fire hydrants. You know what? Why don't you go and stand there, and I'll be a camera person.
All right. Screenshots. Boy band pose. All right.
Delete.
All right.
Delete.
Every boy band has that one tough guy. Okay. And then every boy band has that sensitive guy. So anyhow, that's my two best person boy band impression right there.
Are you guys still seeing us?
This is the Tiny Firehouse, and Finn's going to bring the camera down, bring it down. Hey, so one of the cool things on the Tiny Firehouse is this 1966 fire hydrant. This is a real fire hydrant. It weighs like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Even after we took the torch to it, Jason Green with Free Range Tiny Home and Andrew Ringer, they after they gutted this whole thing, this thing still weighs like 400 or 500 pounds. The reason we did that is because we needed to add a bunch of tongue weight to the front of this trailer so she wouldn't swing, and that's what we did. We also bibbed her out. See this right here? This little faucet right here? You see? We're hooked up to the water source, the water that comes out of here. I can use this to wash my hands. Unfortunately, when we go on fishing trips, I clean my fish out here and it drives Finn crazy. And we have the engineering. Jason came up with the idea for adjusting the trailer. So this is the crank for adjusting the height of the tongue of the trailer. So typical tiny house philosophy of Finn's and mine. Everything should be multi-purpose. Well, here, it looks really cool. It makes the trailer safe by adding all this extra tongue weight so the trailer doesn't, this thing pulls like a dream down the road. She is heavy, but she doesn't sway. We got a water source and the crank for adjusting the trailer. So it does all these really cool things. So we're going to keep coming around here. And Dave, why don't you step back? There you go. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. You need that wide angle lens to get all this good stuff. Okay, so the Tiny Firehouse. A lot of people ask us about this wood. Believe it or not, this is just regular old brand new pine tongue and groove side paneling that Finn came up with a trick she found. I bet you on Pinterest. I don't know where she figured it out, but she always, Pinterest is her go. Mine is YouTube I go to for trying to figure out how to build stuff. Finn's is Pinterest for coming up with ideas. But this is a 3-paint process, gray exterior wood decking, gray stain, white kills, exterior kills, and some exterior black paint. And Finn and her friends just do this, and it looks like old wood. Kind of cool. So that's the way that works. A really cool feature that everybody likes on the Firehouse is the opening. She opens right up. See that? Oh, yeah, there she goes. And she's up. And she opens up all the way around. This is kind of cool. And again, you want to come out here and stay at Beloved Ken Tiny House Homestead and stay, you can go ahead and stay right here. Our rentals are available through our Airbnb. So that's how you find out about these things. But so the Tiny Firehouse is 16 feet long. Her highest point is 13.5 feet tall. She weighs fully loaded. If you've been to the tiny house festivals and you've seen her all loaded with all the old memorabilia, firefighter memorabilia, the old tanks and extinguishers and hoses and stuff, fully loaded, weighs about 11,500 pounds. Unloaded, she's on a 2-axle trailer and some 1.5 feet wide. I'm trying to answer all the questions they ask me all the time. She's 148 square foot. That includes the outdoor shower and the outdoor upstairs balcony. She's about 125 square foot inside, not including those two. And both of those dimensions include the loft. So, all right. So we're going to come upstairs now. Welcome to the Tiny Firehouse. And the thing I keep noticing is we're doing that. I gotta lose some weight, man. Golly. They say a camera puts 20 extra pounds on you. No, I look this big. So you step inside. Step inside. Our Tiny Firehouse up there, it's a split system. It has a full heating and air conditioning split system. Got some cool little lamp and stuff of that nature. For some reason, a lot of people love the chandelier. I'm not really sure why, but they're always complimenting on it. And there was a big story behind that because I didn't want to annoy neighbors and a full fire alarm, fire truck siren system. Our episode on HGTV's Tiny House Big Living. All the parts we stripped off that fire truck, the light bar, the sirens, and all that stuff works. It works on the house here. So if you come on inside, the Tiny Firehouse has a full kitchen. It's got a burner, 2-burner stove. It's got a refrigerator, so you want not everything is there. Something that I've always really liked a lot is Finn found this really beautiful little score. It's a chemical sink. It's a lab sink right here. That's perfect, babe. If you bring it back just a little.
How could you skip over the pole?
I haven't got to that point yet.
Gosh, I can't go over the pole.
This is the lab sink, and the cool thing about the lab sink is you have to turn it on and off with your feet down here on these pedals. So there's no wasting water. You can't walk away from this thing. So that was pretty cool. 2-burner stove. Finn and I, we hardly ever use an oven. So for us, having a burner, but to get away for the weekend or a week or even a month or something, get away or something, having a burner stove, stovetop is really cool. It's really great to have. A lot of people ask about the fire pole. Every firehouse needs to have a slide pole. This is not a real brass pole. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that must have cost a lot. This is a galvanized piece of commercial fence piping, and we just had it powder coated with the brass paint on it. So it looks like a real brass pole. Total cost of this thing was 120 bucks. Can you believe that? That was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing on that one. Yep, you can slide down from the upstairs. Finn uses it like for exercising. She can climb up. I slid down once, almost broke my ankle, so called it a day. I haven't tried that one again. That's what happened. Fat guy on a sliding post. All sorts of storage in here when you come. You want not for whatever you bring. This little chest down here, that's a little storage chest that you see down there. All right. This is made from, if you see this lid right here, this lid here is a hatch from a fire truck. And so we use this to make the storage thing. Coincidentally, the matching to this hatch is right here on the wall. This is that folds out. See here? Settee?
Yes. Settee?
Settee.
Yes.
What'd I say?
Settee.
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 Man, I'm going to tell you something.
All right, okay.
I'll eat at my mom and dad's house. So that's the fold-out dining table. You have a little table here if you want to work, do some paperwork. But, you know, you're doing a tiny house getaway. You don't want to bring any paperwork. You have a little sitting area right here, which coincidentally, this houses all of the batteries for the solar system. That's all down there. That's pretty neat. And one of the things that Finn really loves about this place, and I have to admit, I like it too, is the outdoor shower. We've got an outdoor shower here. So you can step out through these two doors. See these two doors? Howdy, boys. This is the outdoor shower right here. And we have a Nature's Head composting toilet right here off to the side. So you're fully set when you come here and stay here. It's got everything you could ever possibly want and need. So, cool. Let me see. Is anybody asking any questions?
Hold on.
Bring your thing there. All righty. Let's see. Anybody got any questions? Let me take a look here. All good. Tony Casty. Can't hear. Oh, generator. Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Splendor Oaks. Hey, guys. Hey, honey, is there a way to make this thing scroll up and down?
Yes.
How?
Just scroll it.
How?
Oh. Okay. There you go. Wrong way.
Oh, okay. Spell check is not my friend.
I think Alyssa says breaking up.
Kevin Rodriguez, you please, not your tour. Spell check is not my friend. Oh, Allison said it's breaking up. All right, I think it's because we went inside. We're going to come back outside now. sit back down. All right. Allison, are we not breaking up anymore? Let me see. New messages below. Let's see what that says. It doesn't say anything down below. Okay, so I hope we're back. I hope everybody, somebody give me a thumbs up or something. Are we back connected? I think we were breaking up for a second. Oops, lost something. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and set her back down.
You want to point over there to see the tree house?
So way down here.
Don't step too far. People might not hear you.
Way down yonder there in that clearing, that's where the tree house is going. You can probably see the concrete slab there. I don't want to walk too far down there because I'm afraid we might lose the signal. Allison Pfeiffer said we were breaking up inside of the Tiny Firehouse. So, but we have the that concrete slab down there is where the grain silo is going to be positioned when it comes out here, which hopefully it's coming out here this weekend. It's laying on its side on a trailer about 40 miles from here. Also, the school bus here, this is my schoolie that we're doing the conversion on. And this is what's going to be part of the schoolie build workshop later on this month, August 28th to 30th out here. So pretty exciting. And I don't know if you can see it through the trees. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you sure can. That's our 14-foot yurt out yonder there. And we set her all up with glamping packages. We'll have a video loaded later on today. We did a big, long video tour there. And we'll get that all loaded up today so you can check that out. So we're pretty excited. So, yeah, so that's what's going on here. What else you want to do, babe? And then if you come down here, this leads out to the main side of the property. This goes out to the big open where the community gardens are, where the workshop is. This is where we do all of our woodworking. This is where we do a lot of wood cutting. These are 2 guest slips right here. This is for folks who come in. These are 2 of our guest tenants who have become friends, and so these are available. These have full hookups, power and water. So when folks come out here, you can kind of see through the trees a little bit there. That's the community house. That's our 2,000 square foot main house with laundry facilities and bathrooms and showers. There's a community kitchen in there, living room, things of that nature that everybody can use. And I finally realized all the hand gestures my wife was using behind the camera. She wanted me to walk in reverse so you all could see me. And she's just turning the camera everywhere where you can't see me now. So anyway, so that's so right up here. This you can see where the trees, where it all opens up out here. That's the main area of the property when you first come in. That's where the parking lot is. We can handle up in this area between the 2 sides of the road, the parking area and the yard. We can probably handle about 40, 50 cars out here easily. And then over here, off to the side over here, you can kind of see it through the trees, but there's the community kitchen. We just built that outdoor kitchen. We have a big fire pit over there, big area there. This big thing here is my white beard that my wife is putting the camera in front of. I just don't know how far away you can get with everything. Let me see what's anybody said. Breaking up. I think somebody said. So anyway, hey, somebody give me a thumbs up or something. Are we still connected? Are people still here? Are we still on? Why don't you set the camera down on the table there? Let's see if we can regroup. So, but yeah, so if anybody has any questions about what we're doing out here at on the property, you know, feel free, ask away, ask us. You can type it in there. We're more than happy to answer it. And we're now going to sit back down where we were.
we're just going to change the angle a little bit because the sun is pretty strong today. The weather forecast said it's going to be raining all day, but so far we have no rain.
All right, so we're back again. I don't know if anybody's here right now, babe.
Probably can't see because it's so bright. Okay, let's move the shadow this way a little.
Why don't you go into the shade right here?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead. There we go. This is moving to a new location live. And as you can see, that is our plot. There we go. We are back. Are you guys still there? Let's see. All right, so we are back again. Sorry about that.
All righty.
Are you gonna have a little sip of water?
They said before.
Oh, somebody.
Oh, how many acres?
Okay, got it.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Yeah, Eric, we got 16 acres out here. We started off originally with about 3 1/4 acres, and then we picked up a lot that connected to that, and we doubled it. We had about 6 point some acres, and then we gained another one, which was about 2 1/2 acres, and then we gained a bigger one, which was 7 acres. So
and actually, somebody just asked me on Instagram yesterday or the day before yesterday about where can they go and find land, because they said they tried Zillow, which is, I love Zillow. I always use Zillow every now and again. I go in there. So what I usually do, I go into Facebook Marketplace. That's a good one, and also auction.com. You can find pretty cheap land, but it doesn't come by very often, so you have to check them every now and again. And then Craigslist.
Yep.
Good old Craigslist still working.
But honestly, the first 3.19 acres, the first 3.2 acres we got out here, we bought for $5,000 even. So I mean, you can find the land. You just got to search for it. Let me see here. Sam Edelson, what inspired the firehouse in the schoolie? Okay, so Sam, Finn and I, for folks who might not be aware, we organize the 4 charity tiny house festivals. We have done 16 boots on the ground tiny house festivals. We do an annual event in Florida. In fact, this November, as long as everything keeps going according to plans, we will have our 5th annual Florida Tiny House Festival. This past, just about 2 months ago, this past July, about a month ago, we had our 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival. We've done 2 events in Tennessee over the years. We've done one in the San Francisco Bay Area in Richmond, California. We've done one in New Orleans, Slidell, actually, just outside of New Orleans. We've done one in New Jersey. We did one in collaboration with another event organizer up in Massachusetts. We've done one in New Jersey and Manassas, Virginia, in DC area. So we've done a total of these 16 events. And then we've done, May of this year, we did the free online tiny house festival here on our YouTube channel, which involved 5 different countries, 30-some tiny house tours. It was a 2-day live event, and the reason I'm sharing all this, Sam, is that our events are known as the 4 charity tiny house festivals. So when we got ready to build our next tiny house, we wanted to make it a tribute house to one of our main beneficiaries, one of the main folks that we support through our events. We thought about doing it for breast cancer because my mom and sister are victims of that. And but we couldn't think of anything cool. I mean, I don't have a problem pulling a pink house that looks like a bra, but it seems like everybody already did the cool stuff for breast cancer themed schoolies and things of that nature. The next idea, we thought we have built a tiny house for a homeless veteran and his wife. We have purchased through Augusta Warrior Project by making the donation to them a fifth wheel for a homeless veteran and his wife. We do a lot in supporting veteran causes and homeless veteran causes and veterans who are dealing with PTSD, stress-related issues, things of that nature. So we thought, let's make a tribute house for the veterans. Unfortunately, Finn came to me a couple of days later and said I was designing another hunting cabin, and she doesn't care for my hunting too much. So we scrapped that idea. So then I said, how about the firemen? Because we buy equipment, primarily AEDs, the heart defibrillators, and breathing equipment for volunteer fire departments around the United States. And so that's where the inspiration came. We wanted our next tiny house to be a tribute to a great cause and for something to bring awareness. And the firefighters, the on-scene first responders, frontline responders, frontline essential emergency personnel, that is the cause, the purpose for the Tiny Firehouse. So that's how we did it. Why the schoolie of Sam? My wife wants to take the cats on the road with us. That's it, basically. And she realized she can't throw all the cats inside of a tiny house being pulled behind a truck. She wants them with us while we go down the road. So we started off with the idea of doing the schoolie specifically so that she could have her cats travel with us on the road, because we travel a lot. We've pulled the Tiny Firehouse, we pulled it all over this country, and we've helped a friend out moving his house, pulling it out to California. So we've pulled our houses and other people's houses, California, Colorado, Texas, Jersey, Plymouth Rock, I mean, all of South Florida and all states in between. So we decided we wanted something, instead of pulling something, we wanted to drive something. So that's where the schoolie came in. But to be perfectly honest with you, it looks like it's going to be primarily one of the unique getaways out here at Beloved Cabin, Tiny House, Homestead, and Stay for folks. Eric, unincorporated area. Eric, we are out in the middle of nowhere. We are where men are men and sheep are nervous. I mean, we are far, far away from folks. So in fact, the way we're able to do what we're doing out here is that we had our land resurveyed, and we had the land all combined together because it required having one main primary residential dwelling on the property. And so one of the 4 lots out here had one 2,000 square foot house, which is what we share with folks as our community house. We had the land resurveyed and had lots combined together in order to accomplish what we're doing out here. So how long in size is it, Beth? I'm going to assume, Beth, you're talking about the Tiny Firehouse. All of our tiny houses on wheels that we have out here are on 16-foot trailers. So I'm hoping, unless you're talking, Beth, about the schoolie, then it's a big one. It's a 37-footer, I believe. So I think that's it. How do you know the land allows a business or a tiny house? What? Tony, you're saying, how do you know if the land allows a business or a tiny house? Oh, Tony, it all comes down to zoning and local zoning codes. And every county, every city, every municipality throughout the United States all has their own codes. So a state can come up with codes that hopefully counties will adopt, but they don't have to. Counties have their codes, and cities within the counties can have their own codes. So it's a matter of just making sure that you research and find out. In fact, we have on our YouTube channel here, we have some videos about understanding codes, who to talk to, who not to talk to, and how to help yourself in becoming a more an expert. That's one of my big talks at the Tiny House Festivals. People say to me, hey, I live in such and such county in such and such state. Our tiny house is legal where I'm at. And my response always is how the heck would I know? I don't live there. I've never even heard of that county before. There's so many counties. I mean, how many hundreds of counties, thousands of counties are there throughout the United States? And then how many thousands of cities are, between all those counties? So it's a matter of learning what's specific for your area. What my property zoning identifier is here in our area could be totally different in the county right next door. So it's always different. Okay, Allison, what's the process for getting utilities to raw land, power, sewer, septic, electricity? It's a really good question, Allison. It really depends. Like out here, we had to, now our cabin, beloved cabin, is an off-grid application, but the main house, the community house, and all throughout the property here, we have electricity running out here. We had to get the power company to come out, do a survey. They showed us which path we had to have trees removed to have power lines run out here, and to do that. In regards to septic, every county's different, every city's different, but typically you have to apply for permits. They do some soil sampling. They decide exactly where you can do it. In our area, because we're so close to a big lake, there's some pumps involved. We have two springs on our property that naturally feed two creeks that then go into the lake. So we need to avoid stuff of that nature. So that's why we Nature's Head composting toilets, and through Free Spirit Gear, we acquired a separate USA toilet, composting toilet, and we do a lot of those in our tiny structures out here. Okay. Let me see here. What I thought I saw another question, and I'm sorry I missed it. Oh, here we go. I'm finding it. Tony Case, how is the zoning for tiny houses? Tony, it's really going to depend on your area, where you're at, what the zoning is for your area. The beauty is that we're seeing more and more tiny houses and tiny house friendly zoning, and tiny house friendly legislation and tiny house friendly codes, seeing them more and more and more around the country. We're seeing it a lot out in the California area, San Jose, Los Angeles. We're seeing a lot going on out there, which is kind of cool, because then other municipalities can look at a big municipality, say like LA, who's allowing tiny house on wheels and foundation-based tiny accessory dwelling units to be legal residential dwellings, full-time residential dwellings. So the more we see big cities and big areas, such as out in California, because somebody was complaining the other day, they're like, well, such and such, they say that they're making tiny houses legal for everyone, but all they're doing is concentrating on California. And my response to that is A, well, they're located in California, so you kind of work your backyard before you start walking down the street. And two, the more that's accomplished, it's just more things people can focus on, and more pigeon-toed things that are in there, and more examples that other municipalities can use and look up to for what they want to do when it comes to tiny houses. So whether it's only happening out, the big stuff that you're seeing right now is happening in California, it's happening all over the country. It's just you're seeing it in big cities such as Los Angeles. It just makes a lot more headway, a lot more news. The beauty about Georgia, the thing I like about Georgia is that there are counties here in Georgia, multiple counties, where there's no minimum square footage requirement in their zoning codes. They have building codes, but there's no, you must have 1,000 square foot house, or you must have a 2,000 for R1 residential one. They don't have any square footage requirements. So those are kind of cool. Yeah, those are fun. Let me see, what else do we got here? Do you utilize solar for the tiny homes and Airbnb, or just for the beloved cabin? Allison, okay, so we folks can do on-grid and off-grid unique getaways through Airbnb for the situation, you know, for structures out here. The example, our 14-foot yurt, it is completely off grid. We will put a little teeny 2,000 watt silent Honda generator out there. There are some folks who really want to have electricity. And so we will do that. And then there's lamps and it lights up and everything's pretty. It's kind of cool looking at night. But the main application on the yurt is completely off grid. There's the composting toilet house. There's the community bathhouse. When you get into the secret garden area here, it really detaches from the rest of the property. So, you know, it's kind of special what's going on back here. It's really cool. There's little statues. We pick up little statues from picker sites. And if y'all know what pickers are, American picker, that's Finn and I. We go out picking all the time, but we don't get to find like 1932 Harley Davidsons or anything like that. We find little statues that we put out in the woods. But we have, there's wood carvings and statues, and there's even a Mary, a Madonna statue inside of like a little half egg shaped little altar thing that we found at a picker site recently. And it's out in the woods, so people come across them and see these things. It's called the Secret Garden for a reason. It's pretty cool what we got going on out here. So let me see here. So yeah, so I'm trying to think. Did the video load for any of the other tours, honey? Okay, so the problem that we're having is we have some other tours. The videos haven't loaded yet. That is one of the problems about living off grid out in the middle of nowhere. Internet is really, really lousy. So unfortunately, we have a really beautiful tour of the yurt that we have, and we have another tour of our other tiny house, Rocco. Unfortunately, I don't think those are going to load in time for today's broadcast. So I'm really sorry for that. That's a bummer. But with all that said and done, oh wait, let me see who else had some more messages. Did anybody else have any more messages? Nope. Okay, so I think I answered everybody's questions here. But Inn and I wanted to share something that we thought you were just doing sign language for John.
Okay, hold on. So we're gonna get back to the all the videos that we are trying to upload right now. So I'm gonna edit this live video and put and add on all the tour that we didn't do at this moment. So it'll be just one video, complete video that I'm gonna edit, and then you will see everything. So
yeah,
just hang tight.
These videos are still loading. So, but anyway, Carl, will you be hosting more workshops, please? Carrie C. Oh, that's Carrie Cooper, I think. Is that Carrie Cooper, your girl? Carrie C? That'd be cool if it was. Yes, we are. Right now, our next two workshops is our Scully Build workshop, August 28th through 30th. And then our next workshop after that is our off-grid workshop, which is the 19th and 20th. Even though some people are coming in the afternoon of the 18th to get set up, you know, staking out their trees and where they're going to hang their hammocks. So those are the two that are coming up. But we do have Allison Pfeiffer. Will you talk about Rocco and its feature? Yes, Allison. In fact, we have a video that we did for Rocco that we're trying to upload right now. But I will answer about Rocco. Rocco is a 16-foot tiny house,
which is the same size as the
which is it's on a 16-foot trailer the way the firehouse is, but the way we built the firehouse out over the trailer, we didn't do that with Rocco. So it's the same length, but there's less square footage. Rocco has about 125 square foot. That includes the lofts. One loft, you know, one is the main sleeping loft. The other one can be a guest loft or used for storage, whichever somebody feels they want to do. Rocco is our Mediterranean, our Moroccan themed tiny house. It has a giant, authentic, weighs a ton, it kills my back, clawfoot bathtub inside of the bathroom. It has a giant.
We just have to mention that we are trying very hard to finish Rocco, but it didn't happen because we've been hit with a lot of rain almost every single day lately. So we the bills kind of like pushed back a little bit. So might not be able to show you the inside progress because, you know, not much going on there.
The video that we took for the tour for today to upload is completely an exterior video.
Yeah.
But Rocco should be completed. I think the guys are coming back on Monday.
Yeah, it should be finished by next week.
Should be done by next weekend. And we're going to be doing another one of these in a week. So we'll be better.
We'll be a bit more organized. We'll put it that way.
So Allison, Rocco is 16 foot. It has 2 lofts. It has a clawfoot bathtub, 2 giant picture windows. One window's got to be like 6 feet by 5 feet. I mean, it's just a giant window. Takes up the entire front side of the house, and that's in the bathroom. So when you're in that tub, and it's parked and it's out facing into the woods and everything, you just have
completely privacy.
All this beautiful woods and surrounding to look at while you're there soaking, and at the same time you have total privacy. So
well, who knows? The squirrels and deers might be peeking at you. You never know.
Those dodgy squirrels. Hey, fun fact: we have albino squirrels on the property here. Everybody thought I was crazy when I said I saw a white squirrel.
Nobody said you crazy.
And that you all looked at me like I was nuts. You all
no, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
You and Andy looked at me like, no way. But then they saw it. They saw one, and they were like, oh, okay. So, apparently white squirrels in Georgia or in this area.
Can we bring it back to subject? It's almost an hour.
It's
so
like 1 out of 100 and some thousand squirrels.
Let's talk about what gender.
So anyway.
Before we say goodbye.
Carrie, you guys look terrific. Well, thank you.
Oh. We love your new haircuts.
You want to put the little thing in there for the banner?
Yes.
For Airbnb?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you trying to whisper? You don't have to whisper. Everybody can hear it.
Oh, you're going to do that now?
Yeah, I'm going to do it now. But
Rocco sounds beautiful. Can't wait to stay in it for the schooly weekend. Ooh.
Yes. Ooh. Well, we have to finish now.
we better get Rocco done quick for Allison. Gosh, Allison, if you reserve Rocco for the Schooly Build workshop weekend, you will be the first guest inside of Rocco, because that's the first weekend we're making Rocco available is to the guests that are coming out to the Schooly Build workshop. So there you go. And there's a cat coming down the road. We got if y'all like cats, we have 11 cats out on the property here.
How about if they don't like cats?
And if you don't like cats, I got 3 dogs. So all you dog lovers, hang with me. All you cat lovers.
Well, I love both. All right. Okay, go.
All right. But
our exciting news.
Our exciting news. Yes? Drum
rolls.
So about a month or so ago, we got this email. And I thought it was just some unsolicited I didn't really pay attention to it until Finn looked at it, and then she paid attention to it. And to make a long story longer.
It's already long.
So Finn and I were in New York years ago, and we were staying at a hotel. And believe me, there's a reason for this whole story. And it's this beautiful hotel. We stayed at this hotel, beautiful hotel. But unfortunately, the elevators were broken. Like every elevator was broken except for this one service elevator. And so we were up on the 6th floor. So every single day, coming and going and doing, and we were seeing people, and Finn's friend was moving from New York to back to London. We had to take those stupid stairs. So we decided, let's not use the stairs anymore. Let's get out of this hotel. And we we went out to Airbnb, and we reserved this over on the east side, over in the East Village. We reserved this incredibly awesome, eclectic, unique apartment from this really awesome, wonderful guy who was a counselor for runaway teens or homeless teens over in Jersey. And he was never there, but he didn't want to give up his apartment because I guess it's really important to keep apartments, especially there in the village. And so we stayed in this. It's just so hard to explain. It was just such a cool place. We were greeted when you opened up the door with this sequin rhinestone covered mannequin. I mean, that just set the tone right there when we walked into this apartment. And we fell in love with Airbnb. We were like, who wants to stay at hotels? So we've used Airbnb around the world. all over the United States. Tiny House Festival in Colorado Springs. We've been out to there a couple of times. The very first year we went out there, we didn't take a tiny house with us. We stayed in the Airbnb right next to the festival. Scotland, that really cool place in Scotland that we went to, that was through Airbnb. But anyway, we loved Airbnb. Then we became host on Airbnb about 1.5 2 years ago. And we started, and folks, you've seen our gypsy wagon that we had, the yurt. We started being host on Airbnb and renting out, making available our tinies to people. And the most amazing things happened. One, we became so busy, we had to temporarily pause our Airbnb account because we're so booked, we had to keep turning people down. And two, it motivated us because we were being so successful at it and doing so well. It motivated us to go out and start building and doing more tiny houses to meet the demand that we personally were feeling for tiny houses, for rentals. And three, we made making real good coin. That's always fun. And then and four, we became what's called Superhost. And Superhost is when we got like 15 positive reviews. I forget what the criteria was, but people really liked what we were doing, and we learned a lot as we were going through this process. Like example, one tenant said, hey, maybe you should leave an extra roll of toilet paper instead of one inside of the house. And we're like, great idea, never thought of that. So things like that. And we took all this information to where renting out the structures is just, people come here and you should, if you go out to our belovedcabin.com website and read the reviews, the things, the compliments people say, people just have this really great time. They come out here and they're really having these unique stays and these tiny house getaways. In fact, if y'all remember 2018 USA Today, we were named one of the top 10 tiny house getaways in the United States through our rentals. And we're doing this, and we do this all through Airbnb. So now let's go to that email message. We got this email message, and we followed up on it. Oh my God,
your intro is so
I know, long. Wow. And we followed up on it, and we are so excited to announce that we are partnering with Airbnb to introduce a new platform that Airbnb has developed specifically for folks who want to host tiny homes and unique stays.
Yeah.
It is so exciting. They, Airbnb, if I keep saying they, I'm referring to Airbnb, they have created this platform, this protocol, this program specifically for folks who want to rent out their tiny houses, their yurts, their tree houses, their unique stays, their vintage campers. You all see those beautiful canned hams and sporties and things at our tiny house festivals. They've created this really neat platform, which would have been awesome when we first started out, even though it was still awesome what they had, but now it's even like more awesome. And so we are so excited to be able to be part of this and to help introduce and to share this.
And actually it's come out at the very perfect timing, because everybody knows 2020 so far has been a difficult year for everybody, including us. When we talk about financial, everybody get the financial hit, and we have tiny house just parked here doing absolutely nothing. So we just think, why don't we just do Airbnb again, and then add more houses, and we can have extra money that. Because we don't do much these days, and also it's a high demand right now on the market, because people nowadays tend to do more domestic travel, and they like to stay and escape all the chaos. So this is a really perfect timing. And I'm sure that if you have a tiny house right now and your tiny house just sit there, maybe it was something that you could do. Even though if you don't have your own land, it's a way that you can still make the house work for you.
When we first started renting out our gypsy wagon and yurt on Airbnb 2 years ago, and we got top 10 on USA Today's Tiny House Getaways, we weren't even making our tiny houses available here on the land. We were taking them to the campgrounds that are around here and setting them up for people. And people would come in from Atlanta Friday night. We'd meet them, go over everything with them, hand them the key. They would do their thing Sunday, Saturday, Monday, however long their stay was. They would leave the key inside. We would go back, pick up the house, bring it back here, clean it up. The campgrounds loved it so much. We had the Tiny Firehouse parked out at one of the main campgrounds. They had our brochures. They asked us the brochures and flyers for what our tiny house rentals, and the firehouse sitting there was generating people asking what's this all about, and the campground was promoting us. They became one of our biggest marketing folks. Georgia Power's Old Salem campground behind the Publix in Greensboro, because people just wanted to stay in tiny houses, and it's just amazing. So the reason we share that is that this new platform, this new program that we have partnered with Airbnb to announce and to introduce, Finn and I feel very committed behind it, because you know how we like to do stuff in the tiny house world, and we like to help people and we like to support people. Eric Sleeper just asked something, and I'll have to look at that question. I want to get, I'll answer whatever that question is in a second. I just saw it pop up, Eric, in the corner of my eye. We want to help folks succeed in this the way we have, and the way that we're so committed to this that we've actually building more houses and stuff to meet the demand. 2020 has been such a huge demand for tiny houses. If you look at not the most recent newsletter we sent out a few days ago, but the one about a week or so ago, there were 3 articles in there that I was interviewed for and quoted in and utilized as a resource. Realtor.com, I think NerdWallet. Anyway, these are financial real estate publications that these articles appeared in this year, all talking about the demand for tiny houses right now. As bad as this year is in so many ways, and as strange as this year is in so many ways, in the world of tiny houses, it's really been great. Builders are succeeding. I talked to so many builders who are just can't keep up with the demand of building houses for folks. And on Airbnb, the demand for domestic getaways and unique stays are huge. I think it was in 2011, Airbnb had its first tiny house host. And I think back then they had about 40 plus or minus. Anyway, something like that. They have like X number of thousands of tiny houses now. 350 or so of those hosts are making at least $20,000 a year, like in my opinion, as a side hustle, renting out their tiny houses. So it's really, really cool. And Finn and I, what we want to do is we want to help folks either who have a tiny house and they want to rent it out, B, they're already utilizing Airbnb and they want to introduce more tiny houses because they just can't keep up with the demand on what they have right now, or somebody who has never done this, doesn't even have a tiny house or a unique structure,
and is not sure how
to do it. Finn and I would like to help you to show you how to do this.
We have more information on the link there below that you can.
So if you look right now on the video, you can see that airbnb.vaz6fn.net/United. The folks at Airbnb told me they're going to have something a little bit more sexy, like airbnb.com/d/tiny house, or something really short and simple here in the near future. But for right now, that link will take you to the Airbnb page specifically for tiny house host. Now you're wondering, okay, so what is John and Finn going to do for me on this? We want you to utilize our email. We want you to utilize our phone number. We want you to utilize our website. We're not charging for this. We're not asking for money. No. This
why? Because we got too much time in our hands. Yes. We're stuck at home, just like everybody else. Okay.
It's the typical John and Finn routine. We like to help people. This is what we do. So we want to help people succeed the way we have been able to succeed, and we want to see people become super hosts even quicker than we became Superhost on Airbnb.
And maybe we can go and visit your Airbnb too.
Wouldn't that be cool? We'd love to come to your location, do a little video, put it online and show it off and everything, the way we do our tiny house tours for other folks.
And I just want to say one thing, you know, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be unique. That's your niche. You just have to be unique, because everybody, you know, strive to be the best. But sometimes when you go to Airbnb and you see, you know, beautiful houses, just a beautiful house. I mean, it's a beautiful house. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't deny that. But for something, when you go and find something unique, it's kind of like, wow. It's this wow factor that actually make you in demand. So like tiny houses, like all the unique stay tree house, schoolies, that is in the very high demand right now for Airbnb.
So anybody
you just don't have to be the best. You just have to start. Even though you have too little, you can still start and start from there. You don't have to wait, because just like me, if I have to wait until the land is done, everything perfect, I will never be able to start this.
Yeah, there you go. You know, if anybody's sitting there right now and they're saying this, I don't have a tiny house to rent out, talk to Finn and I. We can give you ideas, suggestions.
Are we going to buy them a tiny house?
No, we're not going to buy you a tiny house, okay? And we're not a loan company. No. We're just going to give you good, solid, sound advice, input, whatever you want to call it, based upon our experience and successful experience.
Some simple structure,
you
like
can build
A-frame, you know, the dig workshop, building an A-frame, things like that.
Have you ever seen those little simple
in your
builds
backyard, and then just rent it out? Something. There's always something, man, that you can do.
Beth, I'm going to answer your question on toilets real quick here. No problem at all. If you don't have a tiny structure at this time, there are ways to do it. Also, think about it. 350 tiny house hosts on Airbnb are making an extra 20 grand plus a year on renting out, and that's just not a number I pulled out. That's data directly from Airbnb. That's their data, their information. That's not John just like, oh, we pull a number out of the
How do you remember all that?
What's that?
How do you remember all that?
The same way I remember your mother and father's birthdays.
No, you didn't.
I know. I don't know. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. Thought maybe she'd give me that one live. You know, John, we don't have a tiny house, so this isn't for us. You know what? As long as you sit there and say, I don't have a tiny house, I can't do this, then you're right. This isn't for you. But if you want to say, what opportunities are out there for me to create a unique getaway stay, a unique structure, a tiny house, whatever, so that I can be part of these 350 tiny house hosts that are making $20,000 or more a year. And think about it. If you've got a Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 job, working at home, you know, working in an office, whatever the case may be, can you imagine if, like, on the weekends, there's 52 weekends out of the year, let's just take 10 of those weekends, 20 of those weekends. If you could just go out and pick up a couple of $100 a weekend, 10 or 20 weekends,
that will definitely
all of a sudden you're looking at, like, you know, $4 grand a year. Like,
you can pay for your electricity,
just
you can pay
coming
bills.
right into you.
Definitely helps.
Doing, you know,
you can pay
easy.
for cat food.
You know, John, there's nothing unique around here in my area. Nobody would ever come out where I'm at to stay in a tiny house. Au contraire, mon frère, because that came from a cartoon when I was a kid. The Klondike cat, y'all remember that? No. People want to stay in tiny houses. People want to get away. They want to experience a unique structure. That alone is going to draw them in. And do you know what? I have never been anywhere in the United States, and I've been into some real tiny places, little off the. There's always something cool to do. I mean, believe me.
Because people want to experience something different.
Yeah, you know, come on down and stay in our tiny house and go see the largest ball of yarn just 20 miles down the road. People will come to see that. I know I would.
And also for people who have tiny houses but don't have land, what can they do? Campgrounds.
I'm here to tell you right now. Campgrounds. One thing you got to do with campgrounds is this, and we learned this. when we took our tiny houses out to the campgrounds, we had to inform the campground people who was coming, what their names were, what their car was, what their license tag was. They had to, we had to get it took a little bit more, effort ahead of time, but you want to know this anyway if somebody's coming to your private property. And it all worked out really great. Campgrounds is an awesome
Or you can team up with your neighbor or your friend if they have a land, they have backyard. Maybe you can ask them, hey, we can split out the percentage of rental. You can have this much, I can have this much. Everybody happy. So it's always the way to do it if you're willing to do it.
Another thing, I'm here to tell you, I love these. When we got our tiny life started way back in the day, we couldn't find land legal to build our tiny house and live on. So what we did was, everybody knows me, I'm an outdoorsman. We got a hunting lease. We leased some land, a hunting lease. And the property owners on hunting leases, they typically they're looking for somebody to pay their taxes for the year. So you can get a big chunk of land for a little bit of money leased. It's not yours. You can't build anything permanent. Tiny house on wheels, not permanent. They may or may not have restrictions when you can be out there. The one we had, we could be out there 24/7, 365. They didn't care on that one. Some leases say only during like deer season or only during deer and turkey season or, different seasons or something of that nature. But there's a great way to get started right there on having a location. You got to check out the legalities and, if the lease allows you to bring out people and things of that nature. But on my hunting leases, unrelated, I sub out hunting trips all the time on them, and I let people come out for the weekend and with me there, and they hunt. So, hunting lease might be an option for you. Can't get over enough campgrounds. Somebody who has property that you can do this, that you can legally have a short-term stays on, maybe you could work out a side hustle with them where you can rent from them per stay and keep the house stored there. And it doesn't have to be a tiny house on wheels like you see behind us. It can be a yurt, a bell tent. We have an old F-350 diesel truck that we call Diesel. It's a military green diesel truck, and it's so old. The parts to find it are so hard. We have to call all over the United States to find parts for it. Last time we need to get a pulley to the water pump. It took us 2 months to find one. Calling everywhere online and everywhere around the United States. Anyway, we're converting that into a tiny house. Once we're through with all these, that's going to become a tiny house. We're going to build a tiny house on the back and around and into and onto this old F-350 diesel pickup truck. There's all sorts of unique stays out there. So you can go ahead and create these things. And the best way, the quickest way to get started is this. That link that you see for Airbnb on here right now, go to that link, sign up. Link. It's completely free. You're not going to be charged anything. And then I think there's a 28-day window of opportunity there where you need to respond or do something or set up your rental. I just figured out what you're doing. You're pointing at the link.
Really? You didn't know this whole time?
I was like,
I can't point that thing. Officially, stop moving your hands so people won't get confused on what to do.
Oh, look at there, Splendor Oaks. We can vouch for John and Finn's advice on becoming unique Airbnb space hosts.
Yeah.
It's gone so well for us that we're going from 3 spaces to 9.
There we go.
There you go.
See, people, this is actually in demand right now, so this is the time for you to jump in.
I'm here to tell you. So
we can't build our house fast enough.
We are building tiny and deciding on toilet situation, hoping to move in on November. Very excited to be part of the movement. Thanks for your help. Oh, that's Beth McLaughlin. Well, Beth, you asked me about Nature's Head versus incinerate toilets. I have no experience whatsoever with incinerate toilets. I can't answer anything. My good friend, Chris Shaptic with Tiny Industrial, he does have an incinerator toilet inside of his one of his houses, his personal house. I love that house. He has the lamps made out of the skateboards. That's really cool. He has an incinerator toilet in there. I don't know the brand. And the one thing I remember him telling me when we were together in New Jersey specifically talking about the incinerator toilet, was how it sucks all the moisture out of the air when it's doing its cooking, baking thing, which for me is a good thing.
And I think you have to
like
be on grid for that because you need power.
Yeah, I think so too. That you would need to be on grid or have an electric hookup, Beth, for that, for an incinerator toilet. But somebody, if you want to go www.facebook.com, John is wrong. Please tell me, because I know nothing about incinerator toilets. Nature's Head, we love them. We got 3 of them out here. We use our Nature's Head toilets.
Hey, you know what, Beth? You can come over and Ben, that's one of the units, and you can try Nature Head there, because we at least 2 or 3 of our units will have Nature Head toilet in.
Well, we have 3 Nature's Head toilets.
Well, we got one inside
we use one ourselves.
So we can't share that one that we use with other people.
Here you go, Beth. It's slightly used, but go ahead, try it. You got to experience the aroma. So. Also, we have a separate USA toilet that we got from James with free Spirit gear.
Thank you.
That would be the only place that I'd get a separate toilet from, is through James, because he's done James is super awesome. If y'all know him, he
5-star customer service.
Yeah, super great guy. And we have one of those. We only use the separate for, you have to have a drain for it unless you want to modify it. And so you need something for the urine to drain into like we use a French drain, but you need, it needs to drain into something. Just like the Nature's Head, the black matter is removable and compostable. So I hope that answered your question on there. Nature's Head, love it. We got 3 separate USA composting toilet, love it. Got that from James with free Spirit gear. Awesome toilet. We like the Nature's Head because we don't need any plumbing for them. So that's one reason we really like them. It's for our tankless applications. The separate toilet, we do have that the urine side going into a drain field. So the sewer thing or septic thing. I think
we are doing long enough now. It's over.
But anyway, so
we occupy.
So I can't stress enough. Sorry about the other videos not coming out, but we're gonna get them on here. Okay, we promise. But we can't stress enough that if you are somebody who has a unique structure, tiny house, somebody who's thinking about it, somebody who wants to have one as a income generation, but not necessarily live in one. Have one, but you can't live in it right now legally where you're located at. So you have other housing arrangements, and you might have it stored or sitting somewhere where you're not able to stay in it as much as you want. All of these are great opportunities to follow that link right there, the Airbnb link. Go to it.
It's free to join, and I think they only charge very low fee. I think they charge 3% fee. So
when you have a booking, when you have a booking.
So Airbnb can manage the booking.
And the other reason we like to do it through Airbnb is that we have like $1 million liability insurance policy with each of our rentals. Property damage. Yes. And they have the specifics. If you follow that, I think a truck was just pulling onto the property. I hear a truck coming.
All right. Okay. Well, we can finish this.
What are they delivering?
Right.
What are they bringing in today, boys? So that's another reason why we like to do it through
and you can charge
Airbnb.
however much you want. You
get to control the fees, how you want to do it, your hours. You can have you can block off the hours. You can do what we did, take it temporarily offline while you play catch up on getting more inventory in, or you're going to take a long-term vacation or something.
And also another good feature, you can set your own house rules. Just like if you don't want people to wear shoes inside your houses, just like I put it there, please, no shoes. You can put it on. Put it on too.
No shoes.
No shoes everywhere. Okay. So
I think she's talking to me.
Whatever you want, you can just add into the rules so people kind of like, know what to do and what not to do when they come and stay with you. So you're in total control.
If you want pets, if you don't want pets, if if you have a situation where children, it's not a good idea for children to be in your home. If you want to make it a family thing, and hey, we only want children, I mean families with children.
Okay. All right. The link below.
The other neat thing is they have some really cool tools for the billing side of everything and for managing your rental, which is really neat. But the one thing is name recognition and advertising. Everybody knows the term Airbnb, and they have such a huge outreach worldwide. We've had people from other countries come to the United States and then stay in our Airbnb rentals because, and that was the other thing. They traveled to us here. We're like, oh, what were you doing in this area? And they're like, we weren't. We were here, but we wanted to stay in a tiny house, and we saw you on Airbnb. So we decided to come stay.
Because you are the only person who offer tiny house in this area.
So
don't think that you out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and people will not come to you. They will come.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in a. I mean, we live on a beautiful lake, or at a beautiful lake here, Lake Oconee. We have some Native American historic things around here. We have a lot of old history, U.S. history here, but people come and stay here because the houses. We have people come out of Atlanta just for the weekend. Happens all the time. People just pop in here Friday night and they turn around and leave Sunday just because they want to. And it's really cool. You get to share your experiences with these folks and everything. They share things with you. Great example. We had this couple come and stay with us once. He and she had never built a campfire before. And so I said to him, oh, you got all this stuff and everything, because we stock with wood. This is another little trick we'll teach you about how to make your, get that super host. But we have everything all set up where they can have campfires and stuff of that nature. And the guy was just sort of like, is there a special way to set the wood up and da-da-da-da-da? So he and I took a moment that night in the middle of the night to build his little fire thing for him and everything of that nature. But then it turned out, we didn't know this, she was a blogger for somebody for food or trips or something. Anyway, she was a very popular blogger, online blogger that we didn't even know about. She was doing this just to give her boyfriend a weekend getaway. And they had such a great time. She ended up writing this really beautiful, nice little blog thing about us and everything. And we got a lot of exposure from that. And I think, honestly, it was all because, you check into a hotel, you get your key at the front desk, and then that's pretty much the beginning and end of your stay, unless you need something. I think just because we took that time in the middle of the night at 10, 11 o'clock, 10:30 at night on a Friday to show them how to build a fire, a good way, showed him. So he could man it up with his girlfriend all weekend, showing her he knows how to do a fire. It was cool.
That's enough. I think we are taking your time long enough, so let's say goodbye. So we can go and get this video edited. So I can
let me ask Allison's question here. Can you talk to the advantages or disadvantages of doing tiny homes on a trailer versus a slab? Well, Allison, one thing right here, if you build it on a slab, you're dealing with a lot of things. If you're doing it legally, you're dealing with a lot of things right there. You've got permits, building codes, zoning. You've got all that. You're going to go through inspections. You have all that going on. So that one right there, which is fine. I'm all for those things. I mean, it's that's part of the deal in life.
It's not a bad thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm all for it.
Accessory dwelling.
Yeah, ADUs.
Now, people, so many cities are allowed that.
Yeah.
Versus tiny house, which is not.
But and so you do have to go through all that if you're gonna do it legally and it's going to be on a foundation. You are going to have to go through those efforts. When you build your tiny house, unless you get one of the independent third-party inspection companies, they're not certification companies, they're inspection companies. We use NOAA the National Organization of Alternative Housing. We're very familiar with another one called Buildsworth International. We're familiar with another one, really cool people called Pacific West. These are folks who will inspect your house. They can't certify it. They can't give you a certification on your house, like an RVIA certification. You can only get an RVIA certification if your house is built at a RVIA certified build site. The location, the facility needs to be RVIA certified. Having it built somewhere other than that location, you can't get that RVIA certification. So certification is different than inspection. The beauty about inspection is, example, Foremost Insurance. We have the Tiny House, Firehouse. Foremost wants to see an inspection. If it's not RVIA certified, they want to see one of these third-party inspections. So that's something that they ask for. You don't need to pull permits, building permits and things of that nature when building your tiny house. You can move your tiny house on wheels. When it comes storm time, you can take her out of there. Excuse me. So they both have their pros as far as I'm concerned. I can't really think of any cons about either one.
I guess it depends on
I think it
the
depends
area
on where you're at, what you have going on. Like example, my youth town, where once my family and I moved to Florida, we grew up in a little town in Florida called Sarasota. Well, it's a big town now. And in Sarasota this last year, they approved in the rural area outside of the metropolitan area of Sarasota, you can have foundation-based tiny houses, accessory dwelling units, and you can live in them legally, full-time residential dwellings. They have to be on a foundation. So there are some places, Allison, where you're going to have to, you may not be able to do a tiny house on wheels. You'll have to do a foundation base, depending on what your situation is. So, and then there's a big thing, a debate, and honestly, I don't get in the middle of this discussion because we've done both, and I have my personal opinion. Some people say building them on a trailer is really cheap compared to building them on a foundation. Some people say stick built on a foundation is cheaper than doing it on a trailer. In my experience is this: we build them ourselves and we collaborate and partner with the builders. We're in there working just as much as the builders spend, more so than they
use the repurposed.
And we use repurposed materials all the time and salvage materials. We don't run the Lowe's and Home Depot and buy roofing just because we need it. We wait until we can find what we want and find it on the cheap. So we spend a lot less building the Tiny Firehouse, and this is public knowledge. It was on our show on HGTV. $27,000. That was right. Okay. We insured her for $50,000 because we figured if I ever did something stupid and rolled her on the road and we had to build her from scratch, it probably cost about almost double. If we had to somebody had to pay somebody for the labor other than all the labor this lady did. I kind of sat and watched her sweat and get covered with man dust, man glitter, sawdust, more so than I worked.
Okay, hold on. All right, can we say goodbye? It's almost hour and a half. People probably get bored by now.
Well, I don't know. We got 18 people here. So anyway, with that all said and done, so we're gonna re-edit this video. Also too,
tours. Sorry.
If you go out to our website, unitedtinyhouse.com, on the main page, scroll to the bottom and you can see where all of our blog posts are. I posted a blog today about this whole Airbnb platform that they've created specifically solely for tiny house hosts. And so there's a lot of good information there. A lot of the data and statistics I was just sharing with you. That's how I know it. I just wrote that thing, so it's still fresh in my mind. So there's a lot of good information out there, including the links, the link to go to the special page on Airbnb for tiny house hosts. post. So I hope that answered a lot of folks' questions and everything. Allison, you're more than welcome. Feel free to call us, 706-623-4332, 706-623-4332. You can visit us at belovedcabin.com, and unitedtinyhouse.com, unitedtinyhouse.com. And it's on United Tiny. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add that same blog to Beloved Cabin.
Did you actually just give our telephone number on YouTube Live? That's going to go to
and if anybody
millions of people.
But babe, if anybody goes to unitedtinyhouse.com or Beloved Cabin, they see the same phone number.
But if some psycho pick up the phone and can I speak to John?
Hey,
what am I going to do?
No. The psychos are the one who calls and emails and asks for photos of your feet.
Click.
That guy was a psycho. Click. Yeah. Some guy wanted photos of Finn's feet.
That's enough. That's enough. All right, guys.
Anyway.
So thank you so much
y'all
for
very
being
much.
with us today.
We appreciate everything. And
it's your Saturday. We appreciate it. You staying with us the whole time. Sorry for the some difficulty things that going on. Sometimes the signals come and go because we live in deep roots of Georgia, so signal is not always the best.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
How about we do this again next week?
When we have Rocco done?
With Rocco done?
Sure.
And we upload the videos. Hopefully we'll have that new thing from AT&T out here.
We can do that. We can talk about it among ourselves. Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves, darling.
Right.
Amongst yourselves.
All right, guys. Thank you so much again, and thank you, Christina from Airbnb as well, that walking us through this journey, new partnership with Airbnb. Yes, and Eda.
And Jamie.
And Jamie.
And Maggie.
And Maggie. Thank you. And thank you, everybody here. Tony, Allison, Beth, Carrie,
Eric,
everybody here. We appreciate it.
Eric Sleeper. We thank everybody for coming out today. And thank you very much.
Yes.
Y'all take care. And remember, do something big in your world by simply doing something tiny.
Bye. Have a good day. You can say something. Say bye.